Alright, so I want to show you guys a little bit of what I did with Empyrean. It just dropped this Friday, June 14th, all platforms. Go listen to it. So before I go into it, I just want to let you guys hear what it is at full blast. So here's the second drop, the final drop of the track. Alright. Okay, so when it comes to basses, bass lines, and all that, the main thing that I focus on is splitting the frequency ranges so I can kind of divide and conquer between both. One number that I just kind of look at when it comes to the hearing versus the feeling of the bass is around 120 hertz. So anything under that, I will put directly into the sub bass area. Anything over that, I'll be putting into the mid group. So this will have all the mid basses, everything that you kind of just hear when it comes onto speakers or just any system. Whereas the sub bass, anything under that, that's the stuff that you're going to feel in your chest, on the dance floor, and everything like that. So, simplest thing first, probably the sub bass. Listen to it in solo. Probably need headphones for this one, but basically just a sine wave. The compression here has a little bit of a threshold and some makeup gain, just so that when the notes change, I think it's going from A sharp to C sharp minor. Yeah. So when they go back and forth, I don't want volume just going in and out with those, just because the frequencies, that how low they are, it could mess with the sub, the actual one or the monitor in a club. So don't want that to happen. But yeah, just a sine wave with an EQ that's taken all the way down. Just don't want anything past 240 hertz really coming out of it. And then this right here, this little harmonic, this is adding just a little tidbit of aggression to the sound. In terms of post-processing, this EQ, not doing anything. Oxford inflator, you'll see me, if I make more of these, you'll see I have this on a lot of things. So this is just, I can't tell you what it does, but it inflates. I really like it. So with and without, not too much of a difference, but. So with kickstart, this is just going to the kick, just ducking out of the way so the kick can really just come in force in the middle. And yeah, so that's the sub area. When it comes to the mid group, we'll look at the Reese first. This is the first thing that comes in during the breakdown. So hearing those together in solo. Then you'll hear the note variation here. Okay. So you hear when I pause it, there's still some sound going on. That is the reverb on both of those. So I have a Valhalla Supermassive. This is a free plugin. Go snag it. It's one of my favorites. I just got Valhalla Vintage Verb, so I'm going to fiddle around with that one afterwards. But with these, this is just a serum preset that I created. It's a saw wave that's screwed up a little bit. Has a sub as well. Again, filtering anything out of the high end. In terms of effects, you got a distortion, EQ, filter, and reverb. This reverb's doing very little. And then the compressor smashing through. Again, I have another glue compressor, the Saturn right here. This is adding a little bit more aggression to it. The dynamic 7-ender MDB. Glue compressor absolutely just smashing through, you can see. Keeping everything in unison. The two reverbs, auto filter, and when I look at the automation tab, this one right here is what I call the spice. This is just adding that extra aggression to the sound. Small things to keep the sound just moving. So the next thing we'll look at is the horn bass. So this is probably my favorite thing of this. Oops. Wasn't soloed. Here we go. So this is a plucky sound. And what I have it doing over time, just slowly opening up with the filter cut off. And you can hear it at the end. So, again, just two saw waves this time. Voices of unison on each, 5 and 7 effects. Barely anything here. A little bit of distortion, a lot of compression. Super massive, once again. Massive vocals, one of my favorite presets for this. The mix is very low on it. The glue compressor, again, after the reverb, I want it to just glue down a little bit more. The drum bus and the multi-dynamics, these are just for adding a little bit of top-end harmonics. This is for the low-end, the drum bus. I like putting this on a lot of different just sounds other than just drums. EQ, this is just for sculpting, so this might do probably a good amount. So if I hear it here, you can hear that it takes out some of that high-end, some of that nastiness. And this right here, I just made this as a little inverse saturator. So basically what this does, turns up the drive, turns down the output, so you don't have to use, press both buttons at the same time. This is also really good for clipping. I'll go into this if you guys want to at a later time. This is, a different video I could do about it. Basically, turning the bass down and bringing the drive up on this, it can be used as a really good clipper. So you don't need to go out and buy Pro Clipper or any of those ones. So it's one of my favorite things to do in terms of clipping. And then after that, it's just the mid. So this right here is adding onto the sub bass. So you can hear the sub bass again. Then adding this on top. Again, adding a little bit more aggression to the sound. So this is the first drop here. So for people that are not listening in a pro studio or at a club or just on their speakers, their iPhone or something like that, they'll still be able to hear it. Then if I go into it, it is just two saws, one at 2, one at 7. So this one, if I look at the detune, is put out wide. And then this one as well. The effects, distortion and compression, the name of the game here. And yeah, Saturn, I'm using Magic. Not too much going on here, just adding a little bit of high end to it. And that is pretty much it. And then Track Spacer, this is taking out, getting itself, the mid bass, or the mid 2, this yellow one right here, getting out of the way of the sub. So when the sub hits, it's just taking a little bit out. It's essentially a 32 chain sidechain. It's really cool. One of my favorite paid plugins. You can see what it's doing here. But I have it high cut because I want the highs of the mid to be there. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know if you guys like these. I would like to make more of them just for different songs and everything too. So yeah, that should be it. Go stream EMPYREAN. Thank you.